Hey everybody, welcome back. It's DJ, aka Five Guitars Guy. This week is the Songs I Heard in Anime series with Slip Out from Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. Last time around, I finished going through all the individual parts of the song that I need to play the whole thing. So now I'm going to do things slightly differently. I'm just going to tackle the whole song as a whole, at least on the rhythm part, and then go into finer detail about certain parts that I need to work on as far as improving my playing so that I can do it right. On the lead section, I still got to get the solo under my belt. I'm still only playing that at about 75% speed, so I'm going to work on building that up. And you guys get to see what that looks like. So first, let's get started on getting into the finer points on the rhythm section. Okay, so on the rhythm section, the two big things that I need to work on, or just in general for guitar, as well as for this song specifically, that have been giving me the most grief are clean chords and chord changes. So yeah, I'll start with the easier one, clean chords. Like for example, there are simpler parts like the chorus. Or the rhythm part of the solo. Where it's pretty much just that, playing I think one note per measure. So I just got to make sure I'm not muting my pinky finger with my ring and so on and so forth. So make sure those are clean. And then this also segues into the harder part, the chord changes. The faster chord changes involve chords that play more strings, as you've seen. So, like, I got to make sure I keep the C clean. And then that has to transition over to G in the intro and verse. Yeah, see, I kind of missed that last one the first time around. I gotta make sure my ring finger doesn't mute. And then there's also the changes to it. I think, like I said earlier, the C to the G is fairly simple. The one that's been giving me the most grief up till now, if you've been keeping up, is the G to the F. So yeah, even that sounded kind of funky. So the F, I gotta make sure I clean that one up. G chord again. I gotta make sure my pinky isn't muting it. And then the high E. So I gotta make sure I do that while I'm playing the song. So yeah, whole lot going on there, but works for me. As long as I get to be a better guitarist, because I love this stuff. Anyway, I think I alluded to this in one of my previous videos, but I think the exercise that I'll need to do for that is just starting out slow. Like I probably have to break out the metronome or something where I can just play one chord instead of going for. I'll start with just one. And then work my way up in speed. So I figure a good tempo to start off with will be, let's say, 100 beats per minute. So here's what that looks like when I try to do that. So yeah, now that I've pretty much got all the notes mostly committed to memory, just a few bits I have to clean up as I've switched from, like, say, chorus to verse and so on and so forth. I have to make sure I get those locked in, but for the most part, I've got it because it's a lot of the same chords, obviously. So I can just work on making sure I properly change while keeping the chords clean. Making sure my pinky issue doesn't stay an issue for too long. Anyway, that's it for the rhythm section. Next up, lead section. So on the lead section, the things I have to mainly think about are making sure I play with tips versus pads. That's something I only recently learned. I thought fingertip meant this part right here, but no, apparently it's supposed to be this part right here. So I got to make sure to clean that up, which I actually, some of my chords even sound better already as long as I can actually do it. And then there's also bends. I got to make sure those stay really good and clean. And right now for the solo, like I said, I'm down to about 75%. I got to slowly build, hopefully less slowly as I go on. But here's what it sounds like right now. Yeah, now after playing that, I also realized there are a few other things I got to work on. Um, Bends, yeah. Moving between strings, absolutely. Another thing I noticed, don't really have much trouble doing the hammer on a pull off on the G string, but for some reason it's giving me grief when I try to do it on the B string. Like, that one sounded clear, but most of them sound kind of muddy when I'm trying to play along with the song. So I gotta make sure the angle of my fingers and everything like that is cool too. And then I also gotta figure out the scale. I figured this one's gonna be harder for me to memorize. Right now it's just notes as is. It's kind of different from me getting used to dealing with a certain chord progression. This one I gotta learn scales and really understand what it's saying. But yeah, this one's gonna be interesting. I like it. Um, just for fun, I'm gonna turn it up to 85%. Here's what that sounds like, real quick. So yeah, not completely lost, but need some work to clean up those finer points. Oh, and one other little thing I was hadn't even thought about till just now. Actually, getting a little bit better at figuring out exactly what kind of pick I want to use. Because I figure, based off my initial research, they said when it comes to um, when you're playing chords, you want a thicker pick. When you're playing individual strings, you want a thinner pick so you can move faster. I just for fun over the years, I've managed to accumulate a different range, or not a different, but a range of different sizes. Today, I went with an even thinner pick than my usual, which would be this Dunlop. Well, actually, my usual is this one. This is the one I'm trying. It's pretty much a millimeter versus 0.73 millimeters. And this one gave me grief, but I don't think it's because of the thickness. It's because of the bottom ends. This one sticks out way more than this one. So I figure if I want to get better at this, I should probably go with the one where it's not as pointy. I figure I'll stick with that, see if I can find this in a smaller thickness and see if that makes a difference. But hey, and just keep experimenting with that. But yeah, that's it for where this one is so far. Now for sound check. All right, so as previously stated, the Telecaster, I'm running that through the distortion pedal. Right now I still got it level at 3 and tone and distortion at 5 because it sounds about right, but I gotta listen to it over and over and over to really hit those little nuances in the song. So right now, with the distortion pedal on, sounds like this. So yeah, sounds pretty good. Ooh, also, one other little thing I did, I turned up the reverb. Figured that helped out a bit. So yeah, that's where the rhythm section is as far as my levels. And now that I listen to it, the lead section, which I'm using the overdrive pedal for, isn't quite there. Something is just the tiniest bit off. I don't know if it's not sharp enough or whatever, but I've been messing with that. So I turned up the knobs from the usual 3 or 3.5 to 5, and I turned tone all the way up, and I may have to dial that back just to see what happens. I left reverb on this one too, but something seems kind of off. I think part of it may be the fact that this guitar is noticeably louder when I put it through the amp. Like I usually have to turn the channel volume down lower than the than I do for the rhythm section, or else it's just going to be way too distorted and it's not going to sound right. So yeah, I'd say this one, a little more detail needed. I guess once again, like with most of my shortcomings as a guitarist, I spend more time dealing with chords and the rhythm section of things, and I haven't paid nearly as much attention on the lead side of things and how that's supposed to sound, how that's supposed to work, etc. But yeah, at least I feel like I'm in the ballpark with the tone. Just got to dial it in a little closer with each video. I'm sure I'll do that. But that's it for sound check. Feeling good on this one. It's coming along quite nicely, and yeah, I figured with the other two sections, Stuck in My Head and Popular, I'm getting into the habit of thinking in terms of not just regurgitating a bunch of tabs. I'm trying to see how this informs me as a guitarist, which is great. I'm really feeling it with this one because it kind of, I don't know, for some reason this one flows better with me than the others. Who knows what that's about? Maybe it's just maybe it's my connection to the anime making me really motivated to do this. And then, hell, I figured my Jam in Progress series, that should be this all the time, but yeah, we'll get into that next week. Anyway, this is DJ, aka 5 Guitars Guy. See ya.